Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tiger TV. I'm Reagan Howard.
And I'm Sarah Gravitt.
And we are back with more stories about the students and staff of Blue Valley High School.
Let's jump right in with our first story. Speaking of firsts, Jaden Phillips and Jenna Pell interviewed the new choir teacher, Mr. Dollins, about his first year at Blue Valley.
This year, the choir department got a new teacher after Miss Muller retired after 34 years of teaching at Blue Valley High. Mr. Dollins has been making some very needed updates to the classroom and style of music.
We used to have a chalkboard in the room that we updated to a whiteboard, just moving some stuff around and throwing away some things that I don't need. A lot of the things were cassette tapes and stuff that was pretty dated.
I would definitely say style and music choice. Mrs. Muller kind of grew up in a different time era, and so a lot of our music was based around that. With Dollins, we have a lot more modern stuff.
Some people were wondering what it would be like for a new teacher to be joining Blue Valley in a pandemic.
It's been interesting. Things have gone really well, and then things I think are going well, maybe not so much. I hear a lot that, just you can't wait till next year. The school year is normally awesome and amazing and all these things. So I'm curious if next year I'm going to feel like a first-year teacher again. But it's going well. The kids are responding. We had a concert last week, which was really fun. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going pretty good.
With Dollins bringing in more modern things into the choir department, the students are adjusting to rehearsals over Zoom. There are many challenges, especially when they're learning dances, but for the most part, a lot of the members in choir and chambers pick it up quickly. Some take exception that this year is not the same as last year.
Normally doing class. For example, in chambers, we normally dance with a partner. And obviously, since we can't touch other people and get too close to each other, we've had to improvise with a lot of our choreography.
They've all tried to make the best out of this situation, but something new they have to do this year is switch classrooms every 30 minutes. And they have some different requirements from normal classrooms. With all the different sections of Blue Valley Choir, some might think it's challenging keeping all of them organized, but Dollins thinks otherwise.
The minimum kids have to be apart is 6 feet. The chairs are 6 feet apart. They have to wear specific masks, which look like these, and each student gets one when they walk in the classroom. So 6 feet, masks, try to social distance as much as possible. We can only sing for 30 minutes in one room, and after 30 minutes we have to leave the room and let the aerosols kind of dissipate for about 20 minutes, and then we can come back to the room.
Sometimes it can be a challenge, especially in bigger classes like chorale, just because it's a lot of people to move. Sometimes the door is locked in the PAC, so it just takes a while to get everything done. But we've been patient, and it's just kind of become a routine now, so we've all gotten used to it.
With Jenna Pell, I'm Jaden Phillips, Tiger TV.
Wow, choir students are so talented. I'm more of a car singer myself. Speaking of singing, senior Erica Colseth has chased a dream of hers for a while now. Skylar interviewed Erica about her musical journey and her dream becoming a reality.
There are many talented musicians at Blue Valley High School. Among these musicians is senior Erica Colseth. Erica is an aspiring musician and producer, and she's been working hard to write, arrange, and produce her own music over the past several months. She recently received an award from the National Young Arts Foundation for her talent as a singer-songwriter. Erica will be releasing her first single on all major streaming platforms December 18th, which she has entirely written, performed, and produced herself. I sat down with Erica to learn more about her journey as a musician. So, how long have you been a musician?
I started singing at a very young age. I remember just singing along to songs in the car, and I was in choir in elementary school, and then I started playing piano in first grade, and then I started playing the guitar in middle school, and then during quarantine I decided to try and play the bass.
When did you start writing your own music?
I started writing music in elementary school. I would have these little journals that I'd write down all my feelings, and then that turned into poetry, and then that eventually turned into songs when I started playing piano.
When did you start producing music?
So over the summer, I was supposed to go to 2 amazing camps, one at Interlochen and one at Berklee College of Music, but due to COVID, they got canceled. So instead, I had the opportunity to take a semester class for music production at Berklee College of Music, and I absolutely fell in love with it.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that come with writing and producing music?
Writing music is a little tough because you have to have a concept that you want to write about, and if you don't have any ideas, you don't have a song. So it's tough when dealing with writer's block because you don't know what to write about. You have to have inspiration about something. I usually write about experiences, relationships, or if I can't think of anything else to write, I'll go in people's like point of views and write about like my best friends, my dad's, or like an ex-boyfriend or something like that. But with producing, my knowledge is a little limited. I just know the fundamentals, so I don't really know how to do everything that I want to do.
What are your plans for the future regarding your music career?
So I do want to go to Berklee College of Music. I'm looking at a couple other schools, but Berklee's the one I'm really aiming for. I could see myself on tour with a band, or I could see myself being a recording artist and in the recording studio, or as a recording engineer as well. Thank you.
Make sure to support Erica on all major streaming platforms as she releases her first singles this month. This has been Skylar Kaufman, Tiger TV.
Just as the coronavirus has forced school to move online, it has also changed the plan for the Senior Faculty Challenge, which is still a go.
Who's going to be shooting for a win? Lucy Lane and I know what's up.
As the school year progresses, Blue Valley is adapting old traditions and creating new traditions. One tradition still happening this year is the Senior Faculty Challenge, but it will look just a bit different.
In previous years, they had like 4 events in the gym for 1 hour, and then 2 years ago, we shifted it to have like 8 to 10 events spread throughout the building using the Ox Gym, the main gym, and classrooms and fixed forum, and just kind of expanded it out a little bit more to make it more inclusive. And I would hope that the games would continue to evolve as well to reflect the times. The seniors deserve something different, and they're in a very interesting year that no one has ever gone through something quite like this. So expanding the games a little bit and trying to get more students involved, more staff involved, and just make it some camaraderie and some togetherness. And it's about a competition, but it's about sharing time together in this unique time.
These new changes to the Senior Faculty Challenge has sparked school spirit and encouraged seniors to get involved.
I saw it as an opportunity to get involved. With COVID and everything, it's been hard to find activities at the school. So when I saw it, I just thought, why not?
With school back in distance learning, students and faculty have to get creative to make new competitions.
Well, we've already gotten one event out of the way, trying to schedule more events, but some of them may go virtual. And I've been talking with some of the people who are going to be participating to have it on a Zoom. And for example, the puzzles, you'd pull out one, pull out another. They're in the wrapper and say go, and you have a certain amount of time, and when you're finished, put your hand up. Thinking about esports online, and maybe even socially distancing outside of school. I have to figure out the logistics of everything and make sure what we can actually do. So it's going to change a little bit. Hopefully something still happens.
After the first challenge of cornhole, current score is faculty up 10-2.
And who do you think is going to win?
The seniors.
The same people that always win.
With Lucy Lane, I'm Reagan Howard, Tiger TV.
Between you and me, Reagan, I don't think it's the faculty's year.
Yep, I'm with you, Sarah.
And let's face it, they don't have a chance next year either.
Yeah, this year's junior class is solid.
You might have seen interviews between 2 ferns. Well, this is Jake Holzinger's interview with Aiden Shaw between 2 tigers. Roll the clip.
Hello, welcome to our first edition of Between Two Tigers. I'm your host, Jake Holzinger, and with us today we have star basketball recruit at Blue Valley High School, Aiden Shaw.
What's up?
Aiden, what's it like going to all these camps around the country with recruits such as 4-star Michigan commit Kobe Buffkin and players like Chet Holmgreen?
It's really fun getting to play with the guys. I mean, they're all high character people, so it's fun getting to know them, and then like we can exchange contacts, and like I'll have connections later in life, so it's fun overall.
You ever seen Two Pretty Best Friends?
I don't think so. I don't know. I gotta think hard about that one. Have you? Have you? I haven't.
I haven't.
I don't think so.
I haven't.
Not possible.
Mm-mm. So are you a 5-star yet?
Not yet. I'm a 4-star right now, but I'm in the talk, so that's what matters.
Why aren't you a 5-star?
I'm not sure, honestly. I think I should be.
Oh, okay. What's your training like to try to get to 5-star since you're not 5-star yet? How are you trying to get there?
Well, I stay in the gym every day, working on my game. So that's how I'm trying to get to it.
Mm-hmm. Like the gym, like the school gym, where you only lift a 25 and a 10, or like
No.
like MoCan and other serious stuff. Because I mean, you've got potential. I mean, you're tall, you're fast, you're lanky.
I mean,
Yeah.
I lift at other places, so I mean, I get it in.
Are you sure you want to stick with basketball though?
Pretty sure I could play soccer, but
Soccer.
Yeah, soccer.
When did you play soccer? Why
Never,
soccer?
never played soccer. Basketball is really my sport, though. I enjoy it.
Has it always been really your sport? 'Cause,
I used to play football and baseball, but
I was about to say, I mean, Aiden and I go pretty far back. We were on the 6th and 7th grade Blue Valley Tigers rec football team,
oh yeah,
and we were stars. We were
I
stars.
remember that. That was a
I
lot
was
of
a tight
fun.
end. Aiden was
QB.
back then too.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I remember that.
I mean, you could have stayed. Aiden's a quitter.
I'm a quitter.
Aiden played football freshman year and was our B team star quarterback, who lost the only game of the season. And then he quit the other year. The year after he lost our only game that season, he quit. Why did you quit? Why did you quit on us? Think of what could have been. I mean, Jake went down to Allen this year.
Mhm.
Could have kept Grayson at running back.
Yeah.
Michael's good, but like could have kept Grayson there.
I
Could have
mean,
had you throwing deep to Dorian and Tate, and then the next year, since I'm so good, you'd be throwing it to wide receiver DB number 80 and QB Aiden in the backfield with Grayson and Sterling in the slot.
man, I stopped playing football because my basketball started picking up. I didn't want to get hurt. Although I do still miss it. I think I'd be a good wide receiver or QB still. I mean, but that's the main reason.
Mm-hmm. What about like linemen? You're kind of tall. I think that could be.
But I'm not big though. Like,
I think
not like a
linemen
big body, you know?
I think linemen do lift more than a 25 and a 10.
Right.
To see the full version of the interview, head over to our Twitter and Instagram.
Wow, imagine being as tall as Aiden Shaw. I'm about a foot away from passing him.
Girls and boys basketball teams are off to a great start. Both teams are 3-1. The Lady Tigers will take on Shawnee Mission East at their home opener this Wednesday. Best of luck to both teams. We miss cheering you on in person.
As much as we miss cheering on our Tiger Hoopers, we miss cheering on the wrestling team just as much. The wrestling season is off to a fantastic start for both girls and boys. Your fellow Tigers are wishing you the best of luck at your matches this upcoming Friday and Saturday.
And another special shout out to our boys swim and dive team who compete at home tomorrow. Remember to check out the Tiger News on Twitter for all of the live streams for our sporting events.
With the new year coming up, seniors are beginning their next step in life. Elena and Grace are here to tell you about college signings.
Grace and I got the chance to talk with Elena Beer and Jessica Taylor on their journey of committing for their sport.
I started emailing college coaches going into sophomore year, and then they weren't able to respond until June going into my junior year, and then that's when I was able to call and email with coaches. I started in like 8th grade. I just started going to a bunch of camps and stuff and emailing coaches, and that's when they started to come watch. And just like over the 3 years, it was just deciding where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do.
Elena decided to take the offer from the University of Central Missouri.
Yeah, I was talking to other schools, but I just ended up knowing that I wanted to be at UCM right when I visited.
After visiting, Jessica wanted to go to the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse.
I was talking to other schools, but I knew from when I went on that visit that that's where I was meant to be.
Jessica and Elena both had amazing connections with their coaches.
They were really nice and welcoming, and I could tell he really just cared about his team, not just about soccer, but like personally and stuff, and he wanted me there, and I really liked him, so. And then the coach for the school I'm going to actually reached out to my coach like last spring and asked about me, and then I started sending her videos. We started talking, and we had really good communication, and then she brought me down on a visit. 2 weeks after my visit, she called me and offered me.
With college coming closer, they're both already starting to be prepared before they leave.
I think I'm in a really good spot, and the coach tells me what she wants to see for next season, so I kind of have goals and stuff. Nothing much has changed. The last few years, we practice every day and in the weight room. NCAA only allows 20 hours of practice, which is actually less than what I'm doing now. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll have more free time. I know there's going to be more of a school load, but I'm hoping I'll have more free time.
We both wish you the best of luck. This is Elena and Grace, Tiger TV.
Wow, the girls are really representing here at Blue Valley.
What are the boys up to these days?
Disc golf.
I've been hearing disc golf pop up more and more around Blue Valley, as I'm sure you might have as well. So I decided to enlist the help of Robert Holt to find out what exactly disc golf is and how to get involved with it.
Disc golf is, as it is implied, golf, but with a disc. Some people call it frolf, frisbee golf, and it has the same mechanics as golf. You have to get it into a basket instead of a hole, and a certain amount of throws. You start off from a tee pad and try to get it to the basket.
The disc golf community has been growing immensely during quarantine, as people who play disc golf have been getting their friends to play disc golf, as was the case with Robert.
One of my friends, Matthew Karst, he's played for years, and over quarantine, he got me into it because it was such a great sport to play during that time, as you're outside and you're not really around people that much. If you're looking to get into disc golf, we have a great group that Jason Berg has started. We already have a good group of players, and we're looking to find more who are interested in disc golf and possibly building the disc golf community here in Oakland Park. So the easiest way to contact us is through Snapchat. My Snapchat's RobertToast_1, and or Jason Berg, who is kind of our leader of the group, at JasonBerg879. and or if you know anyone within the group.
Two of the most popular disc golf courses around are at Heritage Park, where this footage was filmed, and Blue Valley West, which is widely regarded as the beginner course, if you were wondering where to start your first game of disc golf.
Thank you to Jake Andrew for teaching us more about the growing disc golf community.
They should start their own disc golf club. Many students at Blue Valley High are involved in clubs. Pranav and Max interviewed the Latin Club president to get some insight.
Clubs have always been an important part of Blue Valley. I got to sit down with BV legend and president of Latin Club, Noah Clayman, to learn more about how clubs have been adapting.
So far we haven't had any in-person meetings. We're only going to be doing Zoom meetings, and as of now, right now, we are doing recruitment. Technically, we're getting more members to join Latin Club because we have the freshman class that's come into Latin 1, and with that, they haven't joined Latin Club yet, so we're doing that. And we've also waived local club fees.
Joining a club is a simple way to stay involved in the community. Noah described their experiences and the importance of clubs to the school.
I think clubs are important to BV because you can meet a bunch of different people that you may not have met if you hadn't joined the club. Like, I know I've met a bunch of people through Latin Club and other clubs that I've been in that I wouldn't have interacted with if I wasn't involved in that club.
With talks of vaccine approval on the horizon, Noah shared her hopes for Latin Club's future.
We have Latin convention every year. It got canceled last year because of COVID, but if things get better, which hopefully they will, we will be going back in person with meetings and stuff like that.
For more information on available clubs, head to the Blue Valley Tiger course on campus, and make sure to join Pokemon Go Club. With Max Holdusen, I'm Pranav Janavali, Tiger TV.
We've all had to adapt to a new way of learning this year, but imagine transferring to a new school during this pandemic. EAD talked to junior Charlie Weinrich about just that.
Every school year, Blue Valley welcomes new kids from different schools in our area, and even beyond that. This year, we are welcoming many new students in many different grades. One student, Charlie Weinrich, came into Blue Valley this year as a junior and has spoken about what it's like being new and his experience so far.
I came from St. Thomas Aquinas, and I knew there was better opportunity somewhere else, so I bet on myself and came here for better opportunity with football. There's a lot more people. The academics are a lot different. Everybody here is more welcoming, that's for sure.
This school year, Charlie played as a kicker in our varsity football team, and as I'm sure it was a very fun experience for him at his new school, being a new student isn't easy for anyone. Even Charlie has found challenges that have come along with it this year.
Especially with all the circumstances I'm dealing with. The most challenging thing would probably be keeping all my work together with it being hybrid and in person. It's pretty hard figuring out which ones I'm supposed to do on certain days.
Going through a change in your life is never easy for anyone, but Charlie has already been able to create some optimism and positivity for himself.
I like it a lot. Like I said, everybody's welcoming. I'm happy to be here, happy to see where the future takes me. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
Tigers, although we are not fully in person, let's make sure to make our new Tigers feel just as welcome as Charlie does. I'm Iad Noman with Tiger TV.
Reagan, guess what you can find in the 200 hallway?
A whole bunch of freshmen?
Well, yes. And now, in room 202C, you can find Mr. McCarthy, the new school psychologist. Grant Keller caught up with him to learn about his role at BV.
Every year, Blue Valley gets new staff members. This year, we got a new school psychologist, Mr. McCarthy. With over 1,700 students and staff in the building, there are a lot of different personalities and learning styles. One of Mr. McCarthy's roles is to help students and staff to work together with all these differences.
Not every student learns the same way. How you learn algebra is going to be different than how I learn algebra, and that extends on to any different subject. So assisting staff with finding different ways to modify things, to accommodate different needs, to assist in the development of programming for our staff and students, that's a big role for me.
Mr. McCarthy has been working with students for a long time, and some of his best advice came from a movie he saw.
Well, I watched a movie about a famous celebrity that struggled with issues throughout his life. And one of the things that really caught me, and I wish I had a plaque for it in my office, was that he realized that the three most important words that he could utter were, "I need help." And so my advice to the students would be, recognize and understand the resources that exist inside the school.
This is how you could find them when we're back in the building.
My office is in the freshman hallway in the 200 hallway at 202C. And in this office, we have our speech and language pathologist, our social worker, and then myself as the psychologist.
This is Grant Keller, Tiger TV.
The school psychologist is always there when you need him. Many students have different opinions on whether they enjoy going into school or staying home and online.
Kenzie interviewed 2 students who have their take on this.
We sat down with sophomore Landon Barlow, who is participating in all virtual school, and learned some pros and cons of online learning.
I decided all online learning for the main reason of I didn't want to expose more of my family and my mom's business to COVID.
Although Landon did all online, he still had a passion for broadcasting and making videos. Tiger TV was not an option for all virtual students, so Landon made an exception.
I really enjoyed Broadcast 1 last year, and I wanted to continue on with that because it was something that I thought about doing and am still thinking about doing for a job in the future, and it's not offered online.
Landon was glad with the decision he made, which was coming to school for the sole purpose of Tiger TV.
I definitely don't regret joining into Tiger TV. It's been a fun first quarter, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the upcoming projects like our podcast that's coming up.
The virtual system seemed to have a lot of complications, but from what Landon has shared, it sounded to be very laid back and a very independent process.
I enjoy the system with my teachers. A lot of them allow us just to hop on and say hi, and then the rest of the hours would be office hours with them. I enjoy that. The thing that I don't enjoy is the fact that there's nothing really keeping us in check to getting our homework in on time, and testing's a little bit weird with it.
A little side of Landon regrets that he didn't do hybrid school, but he enjoys the independence.
I would say I do a little bit just because it got me pretty far behind in my work, but I was able to catch up with that, and I was able to do some other things that I wouldn't be able to do if I did it.
Landon believes his social activity has not been impacted by all remote learning.
A lot of my friends were also online, and I was able to continue keeping up with them, and I was actually able to have a little bit more free time once I got my homework ahead, just through the system that my teachers had put up.
Now that everyone is back to online, Landon isn't worried about his classes changing or being more complicated because he already has the experience.
I don't think so, other than the fact that I'd be online for Tiger TV, just because the stuff that I'm doing in here is going to be able to be transported into online, and it's just going to stay the way that it is because the courses necessarily won't change because the teachers that are online were online for that hour. We're not going to get extra students into that.
We also sat down with junior Kate Levinson, who is participating in the hybrid learning.
I decided to do hybrid learning because I knew that I wanted to be able to interact with kids at school and my teachers and have more of a hands-on learning environment.
Kate had enjoyed the hybrid learning system, although there were some things she wished could be different.
It's not bad. It definitely is hard going to school knowing all the things that we could be doing and like Tiger Paws and having everyone in the hallways, but I'm glad I get to get out of my house some days of the week.
Kate expected the year to look like this, but a few of the restrictions have made it hard for her and have forced her to adapt to the circumstances.
It was about what I expected. Lunch is a little different because no one was really sure how that was going to work, but other than that, yeah.
Social activity has been a huge problem during the pandemic, but Kate seems to think differently. She believes that her social interactions have remained about the same, but that might change now due to going back to full remote learning.
I'm not very excited about it because I just think staring at a computer screen all day is not fun, and Zoom isn't very interactive, even with breakout rooms, but hopefully we'll be back at school.
We have realized that it may be very hard to transition to all remote learning after being hybrid for so long because there's no one there to push or motivate you.
I think it's hard to be motivated, but I don't think it really affects my academic learning because I'm a type of student that if I have work in front of me, I'm going to do it, and if there is a deadline, I will meet it, but I definitely think it's harder to get motivated and get going, but once I start, I get it all.
As the virtual semester continues, we hope to stay focused and stay on track, but also pray for this pandemic to end.
Hopefully not too long. I definitely think we'll be at home after winter break, but maybe by February we'll be back to hybrid.
I'm Kenzie Hammondtree with Sophie Davini, Tiger TV.
Well, folks, that not only wraps up this episode of Tiger TV, but it's also our last episode of 2020. I know you are all just devastated for this episode to end, but I don't think any of us are sorry to see 2020 come to a close.
We hope everyone has a happy and healthy holiday season. We look forward to seeing you all again in 2021.
I'm Sarah Gravitt.
And I'm Reagan Howard.
Remember to live like champions, and we'll see you when we see you.